They said if you don't get it back within, like the first couple of weeks, it's probably not going to come back.
Richard Hunter's Ford Edge is finally back where it belongs. Parked in front of his home, in the very spot it was stolen from in early January.
Saw the void where the car was supposed to be, went back inside, asked my wife, and then we jointly freaked out.
2 weeks later, police found his car in Dale City.
It was a mess inside. There were clothes, there was marijuana, there was a whole bunch of things.
Also inside, according to this police report obtained by the I-Team, a temporary license plate from Texas.
Well, they said that that's a technique that thieves will use in order to mask the car. So you slap one on a vehicle and you can drive around indefinitely.
Hey, where'd you get those tags from?
Having his car stolen and then recovered opened Hunter's eyes to an issue local law enforcement have seen a spike in recently.
Because those are illegal if there's not registered or properly inspected in the state of Texas.
Police tell us they're stopping numerous cars in our region with temporary tags from Texas. A troubling trend that's flourished in the Lone Star State.
That tag is you're buying the car in Texas.
Spreading to Northern Virginia and Maryland.
You already told me you bought the car in Virginia, so the tag's fraudulent.
We're seeing these tags multiple times per shift. If I had to take a guess, it'd be somewhere around 10 to 15 times per shift.
Over in Montgomery County, Officer Sean McKinney first noticed temporary Texas tags 5 years ago. By law, a driver can only get Texas temporary tags from the licensed dealer they purchased the car from in Texas. But McKinney says he's seen them all over his area.
You start to raise a little bit of question as to why so many people from Montgomery County are buying tags from a specific dealership in the state of Texas.
The I-Team hit the road and easily spotted temporary Texas tags. Police say most of these simple pieces of paper are likely being produced by questionable car dealers and other crooks, and then illegally sold online.
Being in Virginia and Texas so far away certainly is unique.
Lieutenant James Curry with Fairfax County PD says the department has been focused on the issue since last year, trying to strike a balance between education and enforcement.
Your friend who got them isn't allowed to be printing these off.
It's on our officers to make a traffic stop, identify that person, and find out what the deal with it is.
Welcome to Paperwork TV. Today we are going to be looking into an ongoing problem across not only the DMV region but the entire country as a whole. Ghost cars, or cars with faux paper tags. Also, a local basketball star by the name of Andrew Washington, better known as Spongebob, was gunned down in Temple Hills this past weekend. We will be going over this story as well. Before we get into these stories, please do me a favor and go smash that like and subscribe button for me, Mo, so we can keep these stories coming at y'all. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. In recent years, law enforcement officers across the United States have been grappling with a growing issue. Fraudulent temporary license plates, law enforcement and other, have created a name for these types of vehicles. They are called ghost cars. Let's delve into the experiences of law enforcement officers and individuals who have been caught in this tangled web of fraud. Picture this. You're an officer in the DMV area and you've noticed an increase in cars bearing temporary Texas license plates. This is strange because by law, a driver can only get Texas temporary tags from the licensed dealer they purchased the car from in Texas. Yet these tags are turning up on whips purchased from questionable dealers and even sold online. Officer Sean McKinney from the Montgomery County Police Department in Maryland first noticed this trend 5 years ago. He's seen these paper plates not only from Texas but also from Virginia, Maryland, New Jersey, Delaware, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania. So, why are these ghost cars popping up all over? The reasons vary. Some drivers might buy these tags, which run between $50 to $100, to avoid getting their vehicle inspected or insured. Others may not even realize they're breaking the law, thinking it's a victimless crime. However, the feds have identified a darker side to this issue. Some criminals are using these tags to drive without a license, disguise free cars, or even to hide cars used to move that work. Because these drivers can use any addy they choose, it's almost impossible to track these ghost cars. In 2021, Fairfax County Police made a significant stride, issuing 94 citations for ghost cars, including bagging one person accused of selling a Texas tag to an undercover detective. This person was charged with forgery of public documents and found guilty. This rise in ghost cars has prompted lawmakers across the country to crack down on those selling temp tags and the drivers who fake it to make it on the road. Law enforcement agencies are being trained to spot ghost cars, leading to the confiscation of vehicles and prosecution of those involved. But it doesn't end there. 5 Texas dealers who were eventually shut down were estimated to have sold over 755,000 temp tags around the country. When officers stop a vehicle with a suspicious tag and confirm it's a ghost car, they seize it and cite the driver.
New tonight, new information about the fatal shooting of a local basketball legend in Prince George's County.
So police, they now have made an arrest in the killing of Andrew Washington. Fox 5's Shamari Stone is in Temple Hills with the story.
Good evening. Tonight, friends are missing 40-year-old Andrew Washington, remembered, they say, as a likable guy who was well known on the D.C. basketball scene and played at University of Delaware. Well, police say he was sitting in a car similar to this one with 36-year-old Estep Kyler Jr. This was on the 2400 block of Iverson Street in Temple Hills, Maryland, on Saturday around 4 o'clock in the morning. Police say Kyler Jr. and Washington started arguing, got in a fight, and then Estep Kyler Jr. allegedly shot Washington several times in the car, killing him. Officers immediately responded to the gunfire, searched the area, and found Kyler Jr. suffering from a gunshot wound. They arrested him. Police believe he shot himself. Friends tell me Andrew Washington, also known as Spongebob on the basketball court, is remembered as a University of Delaware player who then played basketball in tournaments overseas and locally here in D.C. You're now going to hear from friends who say Washington celebrated his birthday the day before he was killed.
Watching his demeanor, he was a likable guy. So this here is a total shock, especially after you see him on Instagram celebrating his birthday.
It's tough. I mean, he used to come in here every night, and we talked about everything, and it was more than basketball with us. We talked about his daughter. I got a daughter too, so we bounced that off each other a lot. But like, it's tough, man. It's hard to, like, when I sit down and sit still, I think about it.
Now, Estep Kyler Jr. has non-life-threatening injuries. Police will take him to jail after he's released from a hospital. Meanwhile, he is charged with first and second-degree murder. In Temple Hills, I'm Shamari Stone. Back to you.
For this next story, we will be taking a trip to Temple Hills, Maryland, looking into the unaliving of Andrew Carnell Washington, also known as Spongebob. This is a story that shook the DMV basketball community. It took place on the cold morning of Saturday, February 10th, 2024, in Temple Hills, Maryland. On this fateful day at 4:05 in the morning, local police officers received a distress call, a shooting on Iverson Street. They hurried to the scene. In their search of the area, they discovered a man, Estep Kyler Jr., of Largo, suffering from a blat wound. Kyler, in his agony, managed to recount what happened that morning. He said that he had been in a heated fight with his friend Andrew Washington, also known to the basketball world as Spongebob. The dispute had escalated while the two sat in a car in a parking lot in the 2400 block of Iverson Street. Officers found Spongebob still in the car, his body riddled with multiple gunshot wounds. He was pronounced DOA, a sudden end to a life once filled with the cheers of basketball fans. We have a video of 36-year-old Estep Kyler Jr. In this clip on the screen now, you can see him with a swollen eye knocking on a door, asking a man to help him and call the police after the altercation shooting. Investigators pieced together the horrifying sequence of events. It was initially believed that Kyler shot Washington during their fight, then turned the dog around and shot himself in the heat of the moment. Kyler, now a prime suspect in the case, is currently in custody at a local PG County hospital receiving treatment for his injuries, which are not life-threatening. He faces the charges of M1 and M2, among others. Upon his release from the hospital, he will be taken to the Upper Marlboro Jail and possibly the Department of Corrections to face the consequences of his actions. The victim, Washington, was no ordinary man. At 38, he was the third oldest among OBL Finals competitors. Known affectionately as Spongebob, he had won 6 out of 7 matches at the OBL DMV Regional. He was the second seed, advancing to the championship match before losing to Kevin Kuti. Washington was one of the DMV's most popular and recognizable players. After 2 solid years at the University of Delaware, from 2004 to 2006, he had played overseas for more than a decade. Washington also previously played in Ice Cube's basketball league, the Big Three. This incident has not only taken a life, but has also silenced a beloved figure in the basketball world. If you have any information on this case and would like to speak to a homicide unit detective, you can call 3015-162512. Your information could be vital in ensuring justice is served. I want to end this story off by saying, long live SpongeBob. That is all that we have for y'all today. I hope you enjoyed these stories. Please do me a favor and then leave a comment about what you want to hear from us next. Until next time, y'all be safe out here, and remember, stay dangerous, Mo.